won it 6 weeks ago, or whatever it was, everybody was panicking that Miles Lewis-Skelly was going to Real Madrid. It was never ever going to happen, guys. You know what I mean? Like, or as he said. So maybe there's a little bit of skullduggery going on from certain people in the Ranieri camp just to make sure that deal gets over the line. Who knows? Who knows? But at the end of it, I think I'm with Jordan on this. I think Ranieri's a definite. Why would he want to leave Arsenal at the moment? He's just 17 years of age. He's played 20 games. 17.
That's the point. Why would he want to leave? Unless he's looking at the kind of, I don't know, Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho route of going to like a Dortmund or a Napoli or a Benfica for a couple of years and then getting back to the top via that way and play for 2 seasons in Portugal or in Holland or in Germany. Other than that, everywhere you're going to go is a downward step. There's plenty of games. So unless he's been told you're not going to play many games, there's plenty of games this season. You're going to get minutes.
And then one thing I need to bring up on this, people are turning around and saying, Arteta's messing him up and all that, like, you know what I mean? And blah, 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 right? Because they want to get on the old Arteta bandwagon, right? I get that, right? But also you have to look at it and be really honest about it. Arsenal, when he was really making his time getting into the Arsenal team, we had no forwards. We had no Saka. We had no none of it. So you're chucking him in all the time, like, you know what I mean, and expecting him to and he done really well. But at the end of the day, now chuck him in now. Chuck him. See what he does now with proper players around him and make him develop. I think last season you're chucking him into games where, you know, if I'd be really honest with you, it was like, if he don't perform, we've had it. So I think maybe like, you know, just take a little bit of a break and see what happens this year with him. And as much as everybody's going on about, yeah, Ethan, and it's all to do with that, right? We've got a cup final tomorrow. Is he starting in your team at this moment in time? No, he's not. So he's got a lot of work still to do, guys. And
I agree with that.
That is something that he's got to do, and that's nothing against him as that. I'm one of his biggest fans. I think he's an outstanding footballer and going to be. Shocked at when I see the size of him and all that. Like, you know, he's a big, strong young lad and all that. Like, ability unbelievable. This will be his breakout season, not last season. This one, and also I think that you've got to give these two guys a lot of compliments. Where the Sakas and Martinelli's breakthrough seasons came in the Europa League, where they could be playing Europa League games and playing all those games, resting players and getting their games and minutes in there. He's having to come in when you haven't got that. His games are either Champions League or Premier League. So I think he's done fantastically well.
No, it's interesting. I wanted to get your thoughts on Ethan because a lot of people are like, I mean, it'll be an absolute head loss if he does go, but I hope that he does stay. I must say, last couple of bits I wanted to bring to your attention was that there's rumours, Jordan, that the Sesko deal, the Leipzig have insisted on 90 million euros plus bonuses for Sesko. They weren't interested in lowering the offers. Arsenal were unable to offer more than 65 million euros, so they chose Gyökeres. Gyökeres will earn less at Arsenal than Sesko currently earns at Leipzig, which I thought was quite an interesting point. The other bits I wanted to come to you with, Jordan, was the left-hand side, because obviously we've spoken about players coming in. I want to get your thoughts on Martinelli and Trossard's future.
Both go.
Go on, bro.
Both go.
Both go. Well, look, let me just read out what the latest is from Romano. Reports linking Martinelli to Al Nassr are wide of the mark. Apparently, they're working on different targets. And there's rumours suggesting that Trossard could be allowed to leave this summer. Despite initial discussions over a contract renewal, the player is happy at the club, but Berta, with new ideas, could change his future. Arsenal could look at little as 20 million euros to be selling him. I think, if I'm honest, I'd rather see Trossard go out of the two if I can only pick one. If Rodrigo's coming in and it means both of them have to go, I'm cool with that as well. I like Martinelli. I know you're not a fan. I know Lee likes Martinelli, and I know that you're not a fan.
I am a fan.
Yeah, but you're not sure. Okay, you call him, what did you call him? The flirter, right? So, yeah, the flirter. So I get where you are there. What do you actually see happening, and what would you like to see happen, bro?
I think one will go. I mean, there's reports that they're both being looked at by other clubs. I think a couple of Saudi clubs. have been looking at both of them, and I know that Trossard has been linked with, I think it was Napoli or someone, but yeah, I mean, there's interest from rival teams in both players. It's an interesting one because I think you need a squad, right? And as a squad player, I think Trossard is ideal. I think when you bring him on for 20 minutes, when you treat him, I mean, I kind of refer to him as the wheel tord. He's not good enough to start for Arsenal Football Club, but off the bench as part of a squad, he contributes, and he's our best finisher. So, but then the downside to him staying is that then you then got to give him a new contract or let him go for free in the summer, of which I'm not actually that next summer, of which I'm not actually that bothered about. If we get one more year out of him, it goes on a free. I'm not bothered about that. Whereas with Martinelli, you sell him, you can get some good money for him. You can get 45, 50 million for him. Look, I'm not. I would have sold Martinelli a year or so ago because I think that his decline has been so rapid. And while there's still value in the player, let's get the money for him. But I will also say that I don't completely blame Martinelli on Martinelli's decline. I think the system that he's been made to play in hasn't helped him. Not at all. So I wouldn't be bothered if either went. I wouldn't be bothered if both went. I just don't think those two in our 11 win us a league. I think we need to level up. So we need to detach ourselves emotionally away from Martinelli and ask the question, does Martinelli win you a Premier League title? And I think the answer is unfortunately no. And that hurts to say because I had really high hopes for him. You know, the first couple of years, I just thought he was the best thing around. He was so bullish. He was so direct. You know, he got shots off. I just think now, do you know who it reminds me of?
Go on.
He reminds me a little bit of Anthony Joshua in that he feels like he's gun shy. He doesn't let off anymore. He seems to be playing within himself a little bit, and it's still there. It's there. We just don't see it. And I'll give you a pass 1 year because you were injured, but it's been 2 years now where I've been like, I just wonder if we've lost that Martinelli and it's time to recoup or make our money on it and invest that in somebody else.
Lee?
What's a lot of? I've actually just listened to that waffle for 5 minutes.
It's nothing new, is it? It's every twice a week.
I have that every week about Martinelli when he scores at Liverpool. Well, that's expected, like, you know what I mean? Listen, I think that
you love him, don't you? You love him.
I'm a massive Martinelli fan. I really am, and I also think that at the end of last season, when the pressure was on a little bit, who was the one that played really well? Martinelli scored a few goals or whatever. I'm with you on this, Jordan. I don't think the system helps him. I think with Gyökeres coming, I think we'll see Martinelli blow. I really do, and I think that he will be the surprise player of the season next year. I think there'll be massive improvements for him next season. And if there isn't, then we'll have this conversation next season and I'll go, do you know what, Jordan, you're right. But I think that give him the right tools in and around it. I do honestly believe.
Here's the thing, Lee. You say, let's give him a year and discuss it this time next year. As you keep saying yourself, I don't know if Arteta's got another year in him.
No. I think.
So can he gamble that he may get a good Martinelli, or would you get 50 mil for him and put it in a guy who you think can deliver? You know.
That's a great point. I think Martinelli can deliver. I think he has delivered. He scores important goals for us, and I think that at the end of the day, he's not used to the way he should do. And I get that he has to work a lot harder than Saka in certain areas. Saka works hard, don't get me wrong, but there is a little bit more of like, you stay up there a little bit more. That right side is solid a little bit more. There's no inverting from the right back where there is from the left back. All those little things I do think matter. And plus, I love him.
Yeah, I love him as well. I've got to say, I'm a big fan, and I love what he used to be, not what he has become of the last 2 seasons. I think when we saw him under Emery, it looked unbelievable. I think he scored 10 goals from the 9. Then he went into the season believing that we should have been, with his injury, playing more. I remember Smith Rowe getting ahead of him, and we were like, what's happening here? And then he absolutely blitzed it in 22-23, got 15 goals. I thought was very underappreciated that season. It was all about Saka and Odegaard. For me, Martinelli was just as good, if not more important. And then you obviously got the problems in the last 2 years. I think the style of play has absolutely affected him. I'm with you, boys. I think it's been poor, if I'm honest with you, and I think it's been bad to watch. And Martinelli has not been kind of with that. When we have played actually some of his best football, it's been when we've been a lot more attack-minded. I mean, against Real Madrid, I thought he was absolutely outstanding at the Bernabeu, where he actually went and, on up Maisie run and scored, which was what he did back against, was it Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, where he did the last kind of Maisie run back when he was about 18, 19. I haven't seen that sort of Martinelli for a long time. Exactly. I haven't seen him for a long time. And I just think his development has been, it's been worrying, I would say. Because I've got to be honest with you, Jordan, when they first come through together, I thought Martinelli was ahead of Saka. Because obviously that season.
He was.
And it's just been scary to see the levels of development between both of them. Because, we can make the excuse of Martinelli, but Saka's had that playing style as well, and he's been delivering.
Exactly. And this is why you guys are so emotionally invested and need to kind of like man up a little bit, because you're both putting pressure on Mikel Arteta that this year's got to deliver, no excuses. But yet you're acknowledging that Martinelli, who hasn't been good for 2 seasons, and you're biased towards him because you like him, you would still keep him.
Hold on. You had a little 20-minute montage about bleeding Odegaard.
No, but it's not 2 bad years from Odegaard. It's 1.
Oh, right then. So just make 15 minutes of it then instead of 20. Giving us 20 minutes.
What was that?
All about it for 20 minutes. Just do it for 10 minutes then. Just half it, right?
You're an idiot, dude. I ain't got time for this. This is why I thought it was just me and you. I thought it was proper conversation about Arsenal, an intelligent,
Oh, no, I understand exactly what you're saying there, and I do get that we're sort of being a little bit contradictory.
You are right. He is right.
Saying if this is the year that he has to deliver, there can't be any risks. He's a risk. He's a risk.
Yeah, but I get that. But
would you not have him as backup, Jordan, at all? Would you not have him covered behind Rodrigo?
The problem is that, and this is where I think Trossard has the edge over him. As an impact player, I don't think he benefits us. When have you ever seen him come off the bench and impact a game?
I mean, he did it against Palace the season before last a couple of times, but he's not really been given the.
Listen, Jordan, you put in a good argument,
I think Trossard is definitely the impact player. I think you're right there. But Trossard is not a starter. I think he is a sub, So maybe you're right, he is the better sub, but maybe Martinelli hasn't been used as a sub as much. But I do think that, look, I've got a lot of love for him and what he used to be. I haven't had enough love for Martinelli in the last 2, and I've been one that's been kind of not been trying to defend him as much because I just feel like he's not really been up there. Odegaard, there's no denying he was poor this season just gone. He cannot have a season like that again. Like, he has to deliver. And hopefully what you've said there about Zubimendi and Gyökeres coming in improves his game. And maybe it'll improve the side as well. We hope it improves everyone's game, of course. I think out of the 2, Trossard's probably most likely to leave. I just don't see anybody putting in a bid for Martinelli. I just don't think people are going to put him on 180k a week, which is what he's on, which is crazy, by the way, and offer us like 50 or 60 million. I just don't see that happening. Whereas with Trossard, I think they might look at that and think, well, he's got another couple of years left in him. He's probably going to be cheap. He's probably not going to want mad money. I think that one's more realistic, to be fair, because one of them is going to go if this left winger's coming in. We're not going to keep them all. So, yeah, I think that's probably the likelihood, to be honest with you. Look, guys, we've run over, and I promised Jordan that I'd get him off at sort of 3. So,
yeah, but he does waffle on. He's waffled on about Odegaard for 20 minutes. Punishing.
And if you want to hear more waffle, guys, Forever Arsenal every single week on your feed.